House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy now says it's time for that technology giant to come clean and to head to Washington for a public hearing. McCarthy said the prospect of Google executives using their personal left-wing biases and beliefs to control the content their users see is disturbing, deeply troubling, and that Google needs to start demonstrating transparency. In my opinion, that's only an opening salvo as to what they need to do. Joining us tonight is Andrew McCarthy, former Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, National Review contributing editor, and Fox Business contributor. Andy, good to see you. This is stunning stuff to me. Google and it's just the sensitivity levels of that group of top executives decrying, lamenting the loss of the presidency and how heartfelt they were about their obviously favored candidate, Hillary Clinton. Your reaction?
Well, I don't begrudge them their left-wing politics. What I resent is that they appear to use it in operating their platform. I know they say they don't, and it's a free country. They're not the government. They're a private business. They can run it the way they wish to run it. I wish there were a viable conservative alternative.
Because it seems to me, going to your point, this is a left-wing business run by left-wing executives who are stifling fair comment from conservatives as if they had no rights whatsoever, at least second-class rights, and are supplanted by the rights of the left.
Yeah, well, I don't think you have rights that are enforceable on a private platform. Mm-hmm. And I think the problem, Lou, with a situation like this is that if they're all left-wingers and the ethos of the place is that they really suppress even conservative ideas from intruding into their way of thinking, they, in some sense, don't even realize how literally out in left field they are.
I like the expression left field. Without question, they are. But at the same time, we're talking about stifling voices and unfairly. It's as you say, it's a private platform. But the last I looked, AT&T is a private company, but it's regulated, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I guess if we had to recreate the wheel, we probably wouldn't like the regulatory structure that they're encumbered in. And I think the problem you have when you get into these government regulation situations is by the time they regulate, the technology is generations ahead of the sort of static,
what if I said to you that that's a historical
jacket.
Gamble I'll take? I think it's far more important to ensure fairness, level playing fields in the public square, whether it is dominated by private companies or whether it is a matter of simply of government rights to its citizens. This is onerous what we are watching, whether it is Facebook, whether it is Twitter, whether it is Google. There is around this a concentration of economic and technological power that is suffocating right-wing voices, conservative voices, without exception.
Yeah, well, I don't think they should, and I think, but I don't think they should, but I don't think they become the public square and therefore a public asset because they've been fabulously successful. I think it's on us to come up with a better alternative.
You do. And why is it that we haven't?
I do.
And why is it we haven't?
Because
I think
a question for guys who know a lot more about how capital works in this country, like you, than like me. I'm just I'm just a lawyer from the Bronx. What do I know?
The question of capital becomes, frankly, one of concentration of capital, and there is very little appetite for competition. You're looking at Google that owns probably 93% of search. It is going to be very difficult to mount a capital competition that would be of sufficient scale to have a remote chance of being effective. Look at Bing, for crying out loud. supported with a Microsoft a platform, it's still incapable of moving ahead. It is a question, it's a large question, but it can't be simply dismissed because sometimes in economic history, we overcome these kinds of extraordinary economic concentration, the political power, economic power. In fact, our history is replete with examples of where regulation was the only solution.
Well, I guess that's one way of looking at it. The way I look at it is if right-wing voices were being suppressed as much as you suggest, I don't see how Trump would be president. So I do think that there's a vibrant right-wing news and opinion community, and that, you know, sometimes technology takes care of these things. And I just am as resistant to this kind of regulation as you are to special counsels, if I heard you right before the break.
You couldn't possibly be as resistant as I am to special counsels. This is a lesson that I hope that every dadgum fool in the country in the legal profession has learned, that this is not the solution. Grand juries and an appropriate prosecution is. Let's go to that issue. We're getting more information. Do we have that full screen right now on what has come out, the latest on Strzok and Page? If we could put that up, I'd like the audience to be able to see that. Do we have that? Here it is. This is, it will make your head spin to realize how many stories we played a personal role in. This is an incredible text that has just come out, and this with Lisa Page and Peter Strzok showing how much they were aware. This from Lisa Page on December 19th of 2016. She says, sheesh, this has been quite a year, forwarding a link to the Times' most read stories of 2016. Do you think we're going to hear from Peter Strzok's attorney trying to explain that they were talking about stopping leaks rather than pushing leaks?
Well, I imagine that's his story, and he's going to stick with it until he moves on to something else. You know, I think, Lou, that there is, because based on my own experience, I know there is occasional cases where you have to have an anti-leak strategy because you have a leak problem, but you're ill-put to make that kind of a case when your fingerprints are all over every leak in town. And I think the problem these guys have is that the leaking in this particular investigation was coming from the upper hierarchy of the FBI, and this certainly isn't a situation where these guys can speak as people who were trying to stand as examples against press leaking. Quite the opposite.
Would you say that they look guilty as hell of leaking and setting up these surveillances?
Well, you know, look, I think if you're looking at it as a comprehensive case, we know there was a ton of leaking, and we know that they're talking about leaking at the same time the ton of leaking is going on, and they're quite happy about it. Looks like a pretty strong case to me.